How many of you use Reddit and have noticed that there's problems with the app or with going onto Reddit? From time to time, I go onto Reddit to gain some news stories, to look up some gaming news, because sometimes it's a fair source where articles get posted. Sometimes I get videos posted there. Sometimes things go off. Hell, at one point I was thinking of starting up my own subreddit for the channel, just for a place to post extra videos and to post things. But I haven't done that because I don't feel that as a community we've grown enough, and it would be great if a lot of you actually took effort and posted my videos at certain places, which I know some of you do, and I thank you for that. But Reddit itself is half down, not doing very well. What has happened here is Reddit is now forcing third parties to pay for the API data to be able to post things on there. There's third-party sites where you can post pictures and do these videos, and on YouTube, they're trying to force a change in the way the Reddit uses certain data and as they post. And in this, there has been an uprising. There has been an uprising of a lot of subreddits turning around and locking them down, shutting them down, and blocking out any and all interactions with those subreddits. And now the Reddit team, the people that control Reddit itself, have said, open up your subreddits or we're going to force you to. I've seen this floating around here, and at one point I saw a statistic where like 6% of all posts removed are removed by mods in like 180 subreddits that these moderators all control each of these subreddits. This is one of those places where I've seen a lot of censorship and a lot of issues with moderation in subreddits, where one subreddit will moderate everything straight through and through. If they don't like anything you say, you get downvoted to hell, and they will delete your posts. They will ban you from them. One in particular is the main MTG, Magic the Gathering subreddit. If you say anything that's outside the norm, if you say anything where you dislike cards or anything that has happened on the cards, they will outright just ban you instead of creating actual discourse and talking points, and that's where other subreddits have popped up. But that's besides the point, because now the Reddit mods that have locked down certain subreddits in protest of the changes that they've been trying to force onto Reddit are now being told either open it up or you're going to get completely removed. Reddit mod claims it being threatened to reopen subreddit amid the blackout. This is actually having real world consequences on Reddit. They're losing value, they're losing their market cap, but that's what happens when you try and change things that are negative for the site. It's just the ongoing issues. The Reddit blackout has swept many of the communities on the platform. While some chose to strike for 20 to 48 hours, some came back to regular operations afterwards. There are some that have opted to suspend their subreddit indefinitely. However, a moderator for our Apple, this is the Apple subreddit, claims Reddit is pursuing pressure on moderators that are holding out by citing the rules and regulations of the platform. Reddit's moderation code of conduct states that they will not tolerate hostility, refusal to cooperate, and or continued encouragement of rule-breaking behavior across Reddit. And with rules 4 of the code of conduct stating that moderators have to be active in their communities to hold on to their role, they may be forced out of their positions. Moderators claiming Reddit is threatening subs to reopen. Pretty much reopen or you're going to get removed as a mod, and we're going to reopen it for you. I've had my run-ins with mods on Reddit, and in a lot of cases I don't see a fair treatment across the board. I see there being their own agendas and their own narratives being pushed over the communities, and a lot of the community just want to have an open discussion. Now there's things like threats and stuff that people do get offended by, but there is reasons, like if you're trying to tell a joke, and if you're in a joke subreddit, if you're in like a circle jerking subreddit, which is meant to be a joke subreddit, and then you're getting removed for telling certain jokes, well, jokes are going to be offensive to someone no matter where you go. That's the nature of the beast. That's the nature of being a comedian. That's the nature of telling jokes. You're going to offend someone down the line that will take offense to it, and that's where these moderators tend to just remove you instead of just saying, listen, we're removing this post, we found it distasteful, and you're still going to be able to be active. No, you're just completely banned. So there's a lot of things that I have wrong with Reddit, and this is actually one of the changes that needs to go forward to actually improve, I think, the app. A lot of the moderators, how they I do see them power trip from time and time again, and it's absolutely ridiculous. But there's also the benefit of Reddit where you're getting answers, you're getting detailed forum style answers to common questions or common problems that you see with your PC. When I go through things like what we did with Hogwarts Legacy, where things weren't acting appropriately, I went through Reddit themselves to try and find answers, and that's where I was able to piece things together. It's like getting all the breadcrumbs in a row. Reddit tends to be intertwined with those breadcrumbs every once in a while, and it does prove to be a useful resource. But along the blackout and with the changes that they're forcing, they're trying to completely force down upon Reddit, where you're going to have to pay for certain things to be on there. I think part of this is because there is governments out there that are trying to do these things. Like up here in Canada, we have Bill C-18, which is going to be the link tax. If like a story is linked to Reddit or Facebook or Twitter, there's going to be payments that will have to be there. And so there's been a lot of revolving moving parts in this that are making things very difficult. But because it's a worldwide thing and not just one government, it's that's where a lot of the moderators and a lot of these places went, no, we're locking down. Unless you revert back to the way things were, we're not reopening. And that's where things are at with it. Now, the Reddit admins throwing out this threatening people, saying you either reopen or we're going to reopen it and remove you from Reddit. Yeah, that's going a little bit too far, because these subreddits are moderated and they are done peacefully in a lot of cases. Where it should be certain moderators. I don't agree with all the moderators. I don't agree with everyone, and that's part of the being online. That's part of being human beings. You will never always agree with everyone, and if you do, then you don't have your own sort of opinion, and that is the problem. And now, so it's kind of like this catch-22 with Reddit. Where do we really lie? Where do we really want Reddit to go? Where does the differences really lie? And I think they need to allow things to open up a little bit more with Reddit, but at the same time, these changes that they're pushing down upon people, it just, it's not good for the communities. It's not good for the internet in general, and it's not good for a lot of people. And I think Reddit needs to step back and go, listen, what we're trying to push here is a bit too far. Let's scale it back. Let's let these places have their little bit of a win. Then we get to continue and do things normally. But at the same time, I would love a situation where we can vote out moderators, especially in some mods or in sub communities that just they don't act appropriately and they don't do things very well. They remove so many more posts, and especially when I see statistics where 180 subreddits have removed 6% of all posts on Reddit, you got to sit there and go, now that's not trolling. That is moderators tending to having to remove so much more. There's so many different nuances with this. It's a very difficult place for me to sit and say, you're right here, you're right there, you're wrong there. No one's in the right, no one's in the wrong. Everyone has different opinions, and I think it would have been a great place for discourse, but it never has been, and it never will be. Mostly, Reddit to me is a place where I can go and get some nuanced answers that aren't very easy to find every once in a while. So if it was to disappear overnight, something else will take its place. I think they're making a mistake here ultimately by forcing changes on the subreddits, and now forcing them to reopen is absolutely a travesty. Anyway, I'm your Proud Canadian Phoenix, Cindershadow. Have yourselves a great day. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you again very soon.